Hello, everyone, and welcome to another trivia night with LaurenBlade. This week, the trivia is going to be about Sailor Moon. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I've never actually seen the anime before or even read any of the mangas, so kind of flew in blind when I was trying to come up with trivia questions for this one. But after doing a bit of research, I think I've at least been able to come up with some comprehensible questions and answers in terms of trivia for this week. So bear with me on this one. Cool? Cool. All right, and just a friendly reminder, this is not one of those winning or losing type situations. The point of these trivia nights is just to have fun and hang out. No one's really going to win or lose anything. Hello, Callum, Joseph, nice to see you guys. And I see we got a new viewer with us today, Sailor Moon XD. Oh, looks like you definitely picked the perfect time to be joining one of my trivia nights, huh? Yeah. How about that? All right, without further ado, let's get started then. All right, her name is XD. I'll definitely remember that for future reference. Thank you, Joseph. All right. Everyone ready? Question number 1. Which character had their heart crystal taken first? 30 seconds starts. I seriously need to get a new phone because this one is old. All right, 30 seconds starts now. Yeah, same here, Callum. I never saw it either. Like, I know of it, but I never saw it. Any guesses? All right. The answer is Ray. I think I pronounced it right. It's spelled R-E-I. I think that's how the name's pronounced. Apologies in advance if I turn out to be wrong. All right. All right, we got another Sailor Moon fan over here. Sailor fan and forever. Welcome. You're in time for question number 2 out of 20. Tell me about it, Joseph. Like just yesterday, my laptop just turned off on me out of nowhere, and I've had that thing for like more than 10 years. I think I was still in high school when I got it. And I'm almost 29 years old, so that says a lot about how old that thing is. Maybe I should have started this like 5 minutes later. All right. It did like sometimes like about like 3 different days it failed like 4 times in one day each. Never found out why though. Spectrum's thing seems to think that there was like a service outage or something like that, but the truth is that's not what was going on because you see, apart from my router, I also have this like I don't know if it's called a Wi-Fi box or something, but like you know that other box, the one that like shows the power, the Wi-Fi, and the voice if you use that Spectrum voice thing. That one was still working fine. It didn't do that slow blinking white light thing that it usually does when it's not working. It was still functioning normally every time the router started acting up. So I don't think it's the service. I think it's just the router, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I can tell. That's definitely helps a lot. Thank you for that, Joseph. All right. Oh, is that what it's called? Modem? Okay. So that thing I was thinking of, it was called modem. I was calling it a Wi-Fi box this whole time. Good grief. Just shows what little I understand about technology, huh? This is coming from someone who was like born in the late 90s. Good grief. Oh, yeah, of course. Thanks, Callum. All right, question number 2. What is Sailor Uranus's first attack in the anime? 30 seconds starts now. Any guesses? Right. The answer is world shaking. I can only imagine what that must look like. All right. Question number 3. What weapon does Sailor Moon use in the second half of the first season? 30 seconds starts now. What? The answer is the moonstick. I'm guessing that's like the little crescent moon shaped wand thing, I think. All right. Question number 4. What were the colors of the lines on the planes that were chasing after Sailor Moon, Sailor Mercury, and Sailor Mars? 30 seconds starts now. Any guesses? The answer is red and blue. Question number 5. What is Sailor Moon's real name in English? 30 seconds starts now. It's kind of ironic if I'm being honest. Any guesses? The answer is Serena. By the way, I probably should have clarified this better. This is my fault, but when I said in English, I mean like in the English dub. Like I'm aware of the fact that the anime characters tend to have like different names in like the Japanese and the English dubs. Not entirely sure why that's a thing, but apparently it is. A little unnecessary in my opinion, but whatever. Sorry, there's a bug in here. Alright. Next time I do any anime-based thing, I should probably avoid like the English versus Japanese-based questions. Right? Question number 6. What is Sailor Moon's finishing move in the first season? 30 seconds starts now. Any guesses? The answer is Moon Tiara Magic. All right, question number 7. What is Lita's name in Japanese? By the way, Lita is spelled Lita. I don't know if I'm spelling that right, pronouncing that right or not, but it's spelled Lita. What is Lita's name in Japanese? 30 seconds starts now. Can't say I'm surprised, Joseph. They changed the name of the characters. Why not change the names of everything else? Any guesses? All right, there's a chance I'm going to mispronounce this terribly, so I'm just going to copy and paste it while trying to pronounce it as best I can. Mikado Kino. Or Mikado Kino? I don't know. I'm sorry, I'm terrible at pronouncing these kinds of names, so hopefully I got it right. All right, hope that helps. Anyways, question number 8. When did Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon first air in Japan? 30 seconds starts now. The answer is October 4th, 2023. No, sorry, I meant to say 2003. I don't know why I said 2023. I meant to say 2003. No idea where 23 came from. I'm so sorry about that. Weird how random stuff just like comes to mind out of nowhere. Isn't that weird? Don't know where that came from. All right, question number 9. Who is the voice actress for, how do you pronounce that? Tsukino Usagi, aka Sailor Moon. 30 seconds starts now. Sorry, I forgot that names that start with a T then followed by an S are actually pronounced like just the S. They don't pronounce the T is always silent. All right, this is another name I'm going to mispronounce terribly, most likely. And it's Mitsuishi Kotono. I think that's how it's pronounced. I don't know, here it is just in case. And of course, the automatic translate thing is going to pop up. Tell me about it. All right. Hi, Roger. Not sure what's going on here, but whatever. Question number 10. What color shirt is Mamoru wearing in the picture of him and Usagi? 30 seconds starts now. What about you, Roger? You got any guesses? The answer is purple. Question number 11. Sailor Mercury is known in the group as what? 30 seconds starts now. Any guesses? The answer is a technical whiz. Right? Question number 12. Sailor Pluto is also known by another name. What is it? 30 seconds starts now. I might be able to pronounce it right this time, but I'm not 100% sure if I'm being honest. The answer is Setsuna. Question number 13. What did Mimette use to decorate the area around her computer screen? 30 seconds starts now. Any guesses? Yeah, it's understandable, Joseph. Anyway, the answer is pictures of boys. Right. Question number 14. What is the name of the theme song of Sailor Moon from seasons 1 to 4? 30 seconds starts now. Good one, Joseph. Any guesses? You were surprisingly close there, my friend. Moonlight, I'm probably going to mispronounce this terribly. Moonlight Densetsu. No, I think I got it right that time. Densetsu. I don't know. What do you guys think? Did I pronounce that right? All right, I feel like some people are going to relate to this one. Question number 15. What does Mamoru admit to being afraid of? 30 seconds starts now. What even is a densetsu? Is that like a reference to something? Well, that would be kind of understandable considering how much of the world population is afraid of spiders, not that I blame them. All right. The answer is getting a shot. Can't say I blame that person, seeing as needles can be very hard to deal with at times. Definitely speaking for myself, by the way. All right. Question number 16. How many rainbow crystals were there before they converged to form the silver crystal? 30 seconds starts now. Any guesses? The answer is 7. Actually, now I think about it, isn't that exactly how many Chaos Emeralds there are in the Sonic universe? I can't remember. I think it was 7 or 6. I honestly don't remember. All right. Anyways, question number 17. Anyways, if anyone knows how many Chaos Emeralds there actually are, feel free to tell me in the chat. All right. Question number 17. What weapon does Sailor Moon obtain in the second season? 30 seconds starts now. Well, that would explain why I couldn't figure out if it was like 7 or 8. Huh. Weird how I turned out to be right, even though I wasn't entirely sure. Usually I'm not that lucky. Anyways, the answer to number 17 is Cutie Moon Rod. Question number 18. Where was the Umana Jumo YOUMA space JUMO's weakness located? 30 seconds starts now. I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste the name in case I'm mispronouncing it, and maybe hopefully someone will know what I'm talking about. Huh, didn't do that translate thing this time. Right. The answer is the right foot. Right. Question number 19. What is the translation for the name Hotaru? The name is spelled Hotaru, by the way, so just letting you know in case I mispronounced it. What is the translation for that name? 30 seconds starts now. Yeah, a lot of people can easily relate to that, Joseph. You're not alone there. Just be thankful you're not living in Australia. The answer is Firefly. All right. Question number 20. What is Lida's favorite subject at school? 30 seconds starts now. I don't think I ever had this class when I was in school. Did I? No, I didn't. The answer is home economics. Now that I think about it, I don't think I ever took home economics. Like, I'm not even sure that any of my old schools even did that, because if they did, I certainly never found them on my list of classes every time I was registering in high school. Honestly, I'm not even sure they had that. Kind of got to a point where I can't help but wonder if that's even still a thing. Like, do you think all high schools have like the exact same like class like types of classes or class requirements? Or at least the ones that are in the same district, or does it like vary between schools, even those in the same district? That's something I've been wondering like multiple times in the past. I don't know why. It's just a weird thing that came to me out of nowhere. What are practicals? I don't think I've ever heard anyone use that term before. Oh, kind of like the frog dissection thing, right? Yeah, now that I think about it, I'm kind of surprised that schools even allowed minors to handle stuff like that, because if you really think about it, that's kind of messed up. Like, not to mention potentially dangerous. Like, if we were talking about, like, I don't know, maybe actual colleges where someone's actually, like, trying to study to become, like, I don't know, a chemist or something like that, or whoever it is that makes the medications, then yeah, I would understand why anyone would let them do something like that. But like, just letting anyone in general doing something like that, especially teenagers, like, I don't know, it just feels like a bad idea when you think about it. Like, remember how there used to be that weird, like, what was it, like some kind of radiation kit or something like that? And it consisted of like actual plutonium or something like that. But it got banned at one point. I think we all know why that is. Like, why would anyone even do that? Like, I'm all about like letting kids pursue their passions and whatnot, but I think there's a limit. You can only go so far with that madness. Well, I just hope it didn't get anyone killed. I mean, can you imagine acting something like that in an environment like that with like all that equipment and chemicals and whatever it is they were using? Yep, someone would have gotten in serious legal trouble, I imagine. I'm surprised that American schools weren't forced into that kind of stuff. I mean, sure, the Cold War ended like, what, 35 years ago, but given like my own experience with how weirdly obsessed schools tend to be with science subjects, I'm surprised I wasn't roped into that madness. Yeah, weird how some of those even came from nature. I mean, they don't call it the periodic table for nothing. Excuse me. Hey, Callum, what does secondary school mean? Is that like middle school or is that high school where you're from? I'm guessing it's middle school because I understand that primary school is what they call elementary schools. Oh, you don't do middle schools over there? Oh, cool. I'll definitely remember that for future reference if I ever, for some reason, like do an episode of the LaurenBlade show where I'm in the UK for some reason. Yeah, I'm not gonna like spoil anything, but lately I've been like trying to like keep up with like what British terms mean what because I'm actually going to at some point create a British OC character that will be using British terms. I want to make sure I know exactly what each one is and what each one means so that I don't make them sound ridiculous or inauthentic. Oh, hi, Gregory. How are you? Happy National Princess Peach Day. Oh, that sounds like a favorite day for someone I know. Yeah, I can't say I blame you, Gregory. Sorry, the inside of my right nostril was itching, and that was like the only way I could like scratch it without it looking like I'm trying to pick my nose, you know? Like, do you think people can tell the difference between like picking your nose and scratching your nose? I apologize if that's like a weird question, but I do sometimes wonder that. I mean, it is possible to scratch like somewhere like in the nostril without like anyone thinking you're trying to pick it, right? You would be surprised the number of times I started wondering that to myself. I know I know that's a weird thing to ask, but at the same time, I wouldn't call it inappropriate. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's not the worst place to get itchy on the human body, but it's definitely up there somewhere. I'd say it's like maybe the third worst place. I'll leave it up to your imaginations to what the first two places would be. Because I'm not sure I'm allowed to say on YouTube. Besides, you never know if some minors might come across this and they'll be like, I mean, again, it may not be like the worst thing to say, but at the same time, I'm not exactly wrong. I mean, it's not like there's anything explicit or nothing. Yeah, exactly. Especially on live stream. What else? What else? Oh, remember how like earlier, like I think it was last week during the last week's trivia night that I mentioned this. I said I was trying out my hand in herbalism, and oh man, I don't know how to explain this to you guys, but for some reason I honestly can't explain. Like, so I got like these planters over here. It's like a 3-tier planter thing I got from Amazon. Well, actually, a relative bought it for me technically, but so as we all know, one of the important rules of growing plants, like regardless of what kind it is, you got to make sure you water it, like keep the dirt like nice and wet so that the seeds can grow. But imagine my surprise when, like, even after 2 or 3 weeks, for some reason, the plants never grew. Like, not even to like those little, what do they call them? Seedlings? Yeah, seedlings. Like, no seedlings. Like, not even after like 2 weeks, which was like the minimum amount of time it would have taken, regardless of what kind of plant it is. Now, two people, at least one or two people, think it's because my seeds weren't getting enough water, but the brown stain on the mat under the planters that got there from kind of suggests otherwise. And no, it's not because Willow decided to not use her litter box one day. It's because apparently when a planter gets too much water in it, brown like dirt mixed with water like slowly but surely drips onto the floor below. And let me tell you, if that's how much water that it's been getting, like to the point where that happens, then I think it's safe to assume that there is no way that the lack of water was the issue, right? Yeah, like seriously, you don't have something like that happen and say that the plants are not getting enough water, or rather seeds, I guess, since they never really grew into plants. So yeah, the lack of water was obviously not an issue given the circumstances. I'm honestly at a point where I feel like I don't know, maybe I should like start like actually buying organic herbs at this point since the planting part's definitely not working for reasons I can't even explain. I don't know, like maybe not like buy like whole bulks of like 4 ounces of chamomile or whatever. It's maybe like at least get some seedlings or something from like a trusted nursery where everything's organic. They don't use like pesticides or anything like that because that's like the important thing, you know? Like, you know how people don't usually eat like the peels of citrus fruits like lemons or oranges or whatever? It's not necessarily because orange peels are not meant to be eaten. The real reason why no one eats orange peels, as it turns out, is because whatever pesticides that were being used on them to keep bugs from eating them, apparently they still those pesticides still latched onto the peels of these citrus fruits and can't be washed off. That's why that's the real reason why no one really eats the peels of citrus fruits. Imagine my surprise when I found that out. No, Willow never really messed with the plants. Like she did, like a few times, like go over to the planter. But the worst thing she ever did was like, I don't know, put her front paws on like the edge of the lowest tier planter, which isn't really like very high. Like she's like a normal sized adult cat, and from where the planter is positioned, she would like at the very least like raise her head a little and move forward. Like she didn't like knock it off its like pedestal or anything like that. Is that a pedestal? No, I'm not sure that terminology works, but yeah, basically Willow did not like do anything to the planters. She just kind of like sniffed them and probably lost interest at some point. Like I don't know if any of you guys noticed this. Like I don't know if it's just me who thinks this. Like I don't know if it's my autism or something, but I swear every time I water the soil in these planters, it's no joke. Really hope no one's eating because this is gonna sound so gross, but every time I water the soil in those planters, it ends up smelling like feces, like every single time. Like I'm not even joking. Like I remember when Lima was helping me with like mixing the potting soil and the nutrients and whatnot. She asked me if I was sure that I'd be okay with the smell, and I'm like, yeah, it's just the smell of dirt. I've smelled dirt before. It's not that bad. What's the problem? But then, sure enough, lo and behold, when I started watering the soil, I finally understood what she meant. It straight up smells. It smells like shit. No kidding. It does. It really does. So, I mean, it's not that bad. I mean, it's not like it's super pungent or anything. Like, it doesn't, like, the smell is not, like, strong to the point where you can smell it in, like, every room in the condo or anything like that. Just like when you're, like, standing within, like, it just has, like, a radius, you know? Like, you have to stand, like, a certain amount of distance from it to, like, not be able to smell the artificial shit, as I'm gonna call it. So yeah, it's not really that bad. It's just a matter of like how long ago it has been since you watered it versus like how far away you are from it. So it's really not as bad as it sounds smell wise. At least not for me anyway. And actually says a lot considering how strong my sense of smell is, because, you know, autism. Yeah. This is probably the weirdest thing I've ever said on stream, yet here we are. At least it's not inappropriate or anything. Cursing aside, it's not the weirdest thing I could have said, I guess. It's definitely not inappropriate. It's not that way. Yeah, I'm guessing the Willow must have also noticed how the soil smelled like shit, and that's probably why she decided not to mess with it. Plus, it's just dirt, so I don't think she would have been that interested anyhow. Yeah, it's kind of how 2026 has been for me for the most part, I'm not gonna lie. And oh, since my birthday's coming in about a month, I'm thinking of like maybe trying my hand at doing that Amazon wish list thing for the first time. For like normally I don't really have like anything I would actually ask for, but since I'm like because you know, I'm like one of the least materialistic people on the planet. In fact, most of the stuff I currently have in my condo besides the food in the fridge or the cat food that Willow eats or even most of the toys that she has, they're actually gifts from other people. Even the pots and pans in the kitchen, to pretty much all the furniture here, even this chair I'm sitting on, and the desktop computer I'm using to record this stream. Almost like 90 something percent of the stuff in this condo was actually a gift from someone else. That might be part of the reason why I never ask for anything, because I already have like everything I could possibly need, and you know, least materialistic person on earth kind of appreciate what I already have, you know what I'm saying? But I think this time I might actually have something. Like I think I've actually thought of something for once. Like since I'm like trying to like try my hand in herbalism and everything, I think maybe I should like focus on like maybe starting with like I don't know, asking for something kind of simple, you know, like books on medicinal herbs and basically anything to do with herbalism from reliable sources, of course. They have to be like the most recently published, have to have the most updated information and all that stuff. You can't joke around with stuff like this, that's for sure. That's why you have to take the publication dates really seriously, especially the sources in which these hypothetical books are using. You certainly wouldn't trust any medical articles dating back to a time when people used to think that smoking was good for the lungs, you know? Which in this case would have been about like 100 years ago. Well, 90 at least. So, yeah. At least I can say I actually thought of something. And at least also, this is something I would actually be able to use. Like, I don't want people to think I'm like one of those people who just like ask for something and like never use it or anything like that. Just thought that would at least be something, you know? I don't know, just probably rambling at this point. I'm not really expecting anything, just trying to come up with something to talk about without looking like a complete weirdo, just standing, just like staring blankly into the camera. Yeah, I don't smoke or vape, so you won't be like seeing me do any of that nonsense. You're definitely not wrong about that. I mean, I already had to put up with having a VP shunt. I don't need like more medical problems, you know? Having your lungs messed up from smoking, it would not help me in the slightest. Besides, who knows how much secondhand smoking I must have accidentally inhaled while I was still living with my parents. They were both smokers when I was growing up. I know my dad stopped some time ago, don't know how long ago. As for my mom, I don't know if she still does. I mean, it's been a while since I've spoken to her. Like, I haven't really seen her smoke since the last time I've seen her, so maybe she quit. I don't know. Actually, I'd say that's both the lungs and the brain, especially considering what might actually be in those cigarettes, if you know what I mean. Yeah, no, thank you. Yeah, my grade school used to do this dare thing, with those police officers that talk about like the dangers of smoking and whatnot. So you can probably imagine how much that helped me in the long run. Yeah, for me, it's like both the autism and the hydrocephalus. Like, I don't know if I ever admitted to having this, but basically, it's like this condition where the brain makes too much water, and I have this VP shunt. I don't remember where it is. I've had so many surgeries, I don't even remember where the hell it is anymore. But basically, the shunt is like used to like regulate how much water my brain makes. So yeah, I would have been able to be fine with it if the damn thing did not like short circuit for no reason all the time. Like seriously, like this darn thing has suddenly stopped working like out of nowhere. Apparently, it's got like an expiration date or something like that. I mean, I get that all machines like kind of reach a point where they just don't work properly anymore. But the fact that it's happening with like a shunt of all things, I'm like, yeah, no, this is not cool. This is not okay. That is BS. Like total BS. Like, when is medical science going to stop screwing around and actually give us shunts that actually last for as long as humans do? I mean, is that so bad? I'm not in the wrong for saying this, am I? I mean, I don't think it's controversial or anything, especially since I'm not saying anything that's like particularly like prejudice or anything like that. So I guess this is an okay thing to say. I mean, there are worse things I could be saying. Yeah, it's one thing when it's like my router, but a shunt, that's a whole other mess thing. At least a malfunctioning router can't potentially kill you. At least not for any reasons I could think of. You don't necessarily need the internet to call 911, that's for sure. Though I could have sworn it messed with my reception a few times. Oh man, one time I was like in my living room watching TV, and I did not notice this at the time, but for some weird reason, my phone did not have any service. I don't know how or why it happened, since I rarely used my phone that day. Hey, and I get a knock on my front door, and then here's Lima, my grandma from my mom's side. She came over because apparently my grandma from my dad's side, he was trying to call me for some reason. I don't know what, but for some reason she couldn't get through to me, and she panicked. So she asked my other grandma to come see if I was okay. And when I actually, it was after Lima explained to me what was going on that I actually looked at my phone and I noticed that over where the bars are supposed to be, the reception bars at the top left corner of the screen, it said no service. I even showed Lima, and I do not know how or why that happened. I have no idea why my phone suddenly lost service. I mean, it's not like I'm living in the middle of the mountains or anything like that. This is like a normal suburban neighborhood of sorts. So I'm not sure what could have happened. Like, I don't know if it was just my service or if it was like everyone in my neighborhood, but somehow my phone lost its service at apparently the worst time possible because grandma needed to call me for some reason and she couldn't get through to me. So yeah, I never found out why my phone suddenly lost service, but oh boy, did that cause some unnecessary panic. I probably wouldn't have been able to hear the phone ring anyway because I was watching Cloverfield, and if any of you have ever seen Cloverfield before, you probably know how noisy that movie gets, especially when that giant monster, I think they called it Clover or something, is on screen. So yeah, could have been an outage in service. I don't know, Joseph. I mean, they didn't like my phone service provider did not like send an email or anything explaining what happened. They hopefully sent something to grandma explaining why it happened. I don't know, but whatever it was, as far as I know, it hasn't happened again since. Also, this wasn't like during a thunderstorm or anything like that. The weather that day was perfectly normal, and we haven't had like any thunderstorms for a while since that day. So, since like before that day, so not sure what could have happened. Maybe my best guess is that maybe my phone service provider probably was like doing a maintenance thing. Like maybe someone was like working on the cell phone tower because it needed a maintenance and to like prevent it from like suddenly malfunctioning for no reason, kind of like they do with amusement park rides amongst other things. Because some machines require maintenance to make sure they maintain their proper like working abilities. I'm guessing that's what happened. I don't know. No one said. We never got an explanation, or at least I never did. So yeah, we never found out what really happened. All I know is that it hasn't really happened since, at least. not to my knowledge. Because again, I'm not the type of person who's like on my phone all the time, so I can't say for sure how often this happens or if it's happened again since. Did you try setting your phone that day after discovery? I did, but if I'm being honest, I don't remember if I got the service back after that. Like I said, my phone is like ridiculously old. In fact, so old that it only has like one camera lens. I trust most people seeing this will understand exactly what that means. So yeah, maybe it was because my phone was ridiculously old. Maybe something happened with the service provider. I don't know. Whatever it was, whatever happened that day, it hasn't happened since, so thank goodness for that at least. At least I can say I got a second phone now. Like, long story short, I was trying to figure out how to get like a cheaper internet service when this one deal they had going on actually included like a free phone and line apparently. Like somehow I ended up finding a service. I found like a bundle of sorts that gave me both internet and a phone line for like a price that's like, I don't know if I'm allowed to say how much it was, but it was definitely less than triple digits. That's all I can say about it, I guess. Like, making sure it wasn't too specific. It was definitely a lot cheaper than I had originally. Like, my old plan was like 300 something dollars. So, yeah, this was definitely a huge change. It was like about maybe 5 times cheaper than it was originally. Approximately. So yeah, if for whatever reason something weird like that happens again and I need the phone for some reason, at least I can say I have a backup now. I don't know, man. You know how businesses are. See, this is why I was hesitant to have more than one TV. Like, I would have been fine with just the one in the living room. Like, I don't even know why I have one in the bedroom, too. I mean, I don't even use it. At least not anymore, so not sure why that became a thing. It wasn't even my idea. It was more like my grandma's idea because she was helping me, like, move into my new place, like, back when I was just moving into my first apartment. So, yeah, that's kind of how the whole two TV situation started. Back then, I was actually able to afford the 300 something dollar deal, if you could even call it a deal anymore. But recently, something happened. Not sure I'm allowed to say, but basically, with the economy and everything, I had to like make everything as cheap as possible, you know? Also, another reason why I'm trying to get people to buy my books. Like, this isn't about like greed or anything. It's just like for the sake of like making sure I like, don't starve, and especially don't let Willow starve because she's a good cat and deserves everything in the world. I mean, if I were to ever splurge on anything for some reason, the first thing I would actually splurge on would be something for Willow rather than myself because I'd rather she have the best of everything before me. That's how much I love Willow. Maybe finally get her one of those lollipop bonker things. I don't know if you've seen those commercials, but you probably know what I'm talking about. Those little heart shaped wet food lollipop things. At least I think it's wet food. I don't know. No idea what that stuff actually is. I just know it's a lollipop for cats. Yeah, lollipops for cats. Let's call them that because that's basically what they are. I mean, how do you explain the sticks? Am I right? Right. Anyways, looks like the hour's up. Thank you guys for joining this week's trivia night, and I'll see you all next time.